Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Fallen London. Today we're going to be carrying on with the exceptional story, A Deadly Custard. And we're about to investigate the side tent. Hang on, that flap wasn't open before. Another tent? This place is tents within tents within tents. And this little anti-tent attaches to the side of the Chamber of Soothing, like a parasite. A small, cramped canvas room filled with a chemical smell. A profusion of goggles and tightly sealed boxes litter the interior, complete with field notes, vials and other apparatus. It is half cupboard, half observation chamber, a place for the supervisors to retire to when the Chamber of Soothing is empty. Well, let's leaf through the notes. These are not recipes. What are they telling you? The hand is crabbed and slanted, different to the crisp cursive, the experimental notes in the Chamber of Soothing. The paper is embossed with a seal, proclaiming its origin, Station 8. The cook and the priest found a way into the deeper vaults, a weakness somehow unknown to us. Extract the knowledge from them and deal with the agents of the other powers. I will overlook the whimsy of this plan for only as long as it takes to get results. Instead of a signature, there is only a faintly talon-shaped smear, a gesture of dismissal, preserved in ink. What follows is an extensive description of individuals of interest, agents in the great game. They match your fellow competitors to a T. All now are gone. You and the stranger are not on this list. What then is your import to this plan? Examine the racks of vials, rows upon rows, all neatly labelled. The ink on some of these is still wet, as if just decanted. There are a great number of vials, tinctures here, each holding solutions of sediment, leavened by exposure to the neathbow. There are sample dishes and notes detailing the effects of baking the extractions and ingesting them. Some of them are set apart on a rack marked Final Reagents. This rack consists of 5 vials, 4 filled. The ink is fresh enough to smudge. Loyalty to a cause. Squeamishness at a crucial moment. Covetousness for a possession long forgotten. Treason justified by personal gain. The empty vial, and the last reagent in the series, is marked the care and attention of a perfect stranger. Wafting the first under your nose, you get a whiff of blancmange and a fierce and sudden recollection of the woman with the tiny spectacles who was eliminated in round 1. You recall the crumbs in the Chamber of Soothing and the utter absence of your eliminated rivals. Rather them than you. I can search for another vial of the stranger's solution. It worked to bring you success before. It's almost time for the final. Perhaps it will work again if you can find another dose. Let's see if we can find one. Vials and notes of alembics jumbled together, with baking trays and sieves and rolling pins. Amidst this messy detritus, you discover a familiar-looking vial. There is a neat little label attached, Outsider's Triumph. Perhaps exactly what you need. It does, however, raise a question. Just who is the stranger working for? Leave the tent. Before you were caught, you wouldn't want to be disqualified at this late stage, would you? You beat a hasty retreat after ensuring that all is as it was when you came in. Through the flap in the canvas, back into the chamber of soothing, and out into the waiting area. Just in time, too. No sooner have you slipped back into your seat than the butlers reappear to herald the start of the final. The incessant ringing of the gong by beats a carpet, the shouting from Forsyth, the gin bellowing of Lady Pockets. The return of all this clamour indicates a return to hostilities. The baking contest waits for no one. Let's go. The competition tent seems much larger now, with only you and the stranger at her workbench. The Lady Pockets, flanked by Forsyth and Beats a Carpet, beams at you from her little dais. Her smile falters ever so slightly when she looks at the stranger, that familiar little crease appearing between her brows. Forsyth clears his throat when the lady fails to speak. "You two are officially our finalists for this competition," he says solemnly. "You have made it through thanks in no small part to your understanding of baking, your talents in confectionery crafting, and perhaps," he looks at each of you in turn, "more than a little luck." Let's listen to the rules. There is clearly so much more at stake here than a simple baking contest, but more information is never a bad thing. Lady Pockets, brow increasingly furrowed, remains silent. Beats a Carpet hops forward to fill the silence. "Oh, dearest bakers, the time has come for you to bend your considerable talents toward our esteemed judge's most coveted dish, a custard tart." He beams in your direction and winks ostentatiously. "We will provide the ingredients. Our only condition is that you use them all, and that you will provide your utmost care and attention. Easy, no?" Lady Pockets rouses herself at last. "Yes, that would be wonderful, I think." She has reached out to a workbench and F's a rolling pin in her hands absently. Forsyth pats her on the shoulder and takes it from her, clearing his throat. "Bakers," he says, "you may begin." The two butlers usher the Lady Pockets out of the tent with surprising celerity. Forsyth shoots a final pointed look at the stranger as they leave. Your time has started. Your ingredients, as ever, lurk beneath a white cloth, with the butlers out of the room attending to the increasingly absent Lady Pockets. Have a rare moment alone with the stranger. Let's inspect your ingredients. What horrors have they in store this time? It is surprisingly tame. Eggs, milk, sugar. Some vanilla, which would surely have been ruinously expensive to acquire. Even a pre-made tart base. And then, on a little rack, a familiar series of vials. Loyalty, squeamishness, covetousness, and treason. All the sentiments and memories extracted from your fellow competitors in the Chamber of Soothing. The only vial missing is the empty one, labelled "Care for Attention of a Perfect Stranger." You glance at your fellow finalist. Stranger to you, yes, but you've seen plenty of evidence that they are not a stranger to the judge. Perhaps you are the one here to provide the final ingredient. Well, let's confront the stranger. Enough. This farce is nearly over, and a picture is beginning to form. It is time they told you what they know. They have the same thought. Their voice is low and hurried. The butlers have never left you alone for so long. "I'm sorry. I used you. But all is not as I was promised here, so I would tell you all I know if it would make you a firmer ally. They close their eyes, collecting themselves. My first real memory was a month ago. Before that, an absence. It is torture. I am a stranger, even to myself. My gaze is serious, desperate. They, the butlers, came to me, told me I had lost something, lost someone. They showed me memories of myself from someone else's point of view. Me with her. Lady Pockets. We were in love. I could see it on my face. I don't remember ever feeling like that. They lower their gaze. I want to feel that. The butlers told me they could give it all back, to both of us. They synthesize feelings, trigger memories, capture lives in pastes and vials in a great factory out west. They have their own agenda here, I know it. That's why I've been nosing around. I'm not blind to what happened to the others. I grip your forearm, meeting your eyes once more. I tell you this so that I hope you will believe me. You've helped me thus far, so listen when I say this. The more I remember, the more I believe that she and I forgot on purpose. Behind our love, a target on our backs. A game. A danger. So we can reveal all that we've learned to the stranger. One story revolves at the core of this farce. A cook and a priest in love, in possession of a dangerous knowledge. Or we can keep our own counsel. The picture is becoming clear. There are secrets here, but a secret shared is no longer a secret. You'll keep your findings to yourself. Let's reveal everything we know. They fill in details gleaned from the crumbs of the Chamber of Soothing. 2 agents in the great game, sent by rival powers, each seeking a way into the deeper vaults of the bazaar. One embedded as a cook within the bazaar's innermost kitchens, the other a priest, a spy from the Vatican. Each uncovered only a part of the information they sought. Their efforts to complete the picture led them to each other, and in each other they found the answer: love, and a complete understanding of a deep vulnerability in the security of the bazaar. The kind of information that the great game wars over, that the masters kill to protect, that paints a deadly target upon all who know it. So we chose to forget it. The stranger's voice is hollow, and like a fool, I almost let them coerce me into betraying that choice. Forsyth and Beats a Carpet burst back into the tent, the Lady Pockets nowhere to be seen. Beats a Carpet sidles between you and the stranger. Back to your workbench now. Can't let those nasty other competitors distract our winner, can we? Forsyth, with considerably less gentility, leads the stranger back to their table by the shoulder. Time ticks on. In this interminable tent maze, your ingredients lie before you. The best way forward seems to bake. So we have quite a lot of options here. We can make our very best custard tart, following the recipe to the letter, complete with your utmost care and attention. Perhaps you believe you will be rewarded. Perhaps you simply take too much pride in your work. My caleptic toxicology and my pâtissier gives me an 80% chance of success. I can use the vial to ensure success. Look, you care so much that you're willing to cheat. What's more attentive than that? Or I can create a disaster. The true recipe requires your care and attention, does it not? So all you need to do is offer neither, and all plans will fall about the plotter's ears. Or we can refuse to make anything at all. No, you've had enough. Let all the plotters plot and scheme, but you will not do anything more for anyone. This will leave the stranger's tart as the only dessert for Lady Pockets to sample. Perhaps they trust you enough to follow your lead. So, do I want to return the memories to the stranger and Lady Pockets, as orchestrated by the butlers? Do I want to use the vial to ensure success? That also backs the butlers. Or do I want to make them forget and stay hidden? I think I'm going to create a disaster. Let's go. This is not how one makes custard. You do not care. Your milk boils over, your eggs shatter. Your sugar goes more in your mouth than the mixture. It does not matter. You refuse to give this final round an ounce of attention and proceed to create something abominable, lumpy, and somehow purple. It goes in the pie crust, glooping discomfortably. Forsyth and Beats a Carpet look on in horror. The stranger's gaze is guarded. They proceed with their own tart automatically, as if watching from a great distance. Then, time is up, and 2 custard tarts wait on the judging table. Forsyth sends Beats a Carpet out to fetch Lady Pockets, remaining behind himself to ensure no stray word passes between you and the stranger. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The Lady Pockets returns to the tent, Beats a Carpet right behind her. It is curious how much like prison wardens the butlers appear, in light of all that you have learned. Forsyth guides her to the judging table, nudging the stranger's tart aside so that she tastes yours first. Thank you, competitors, for your wonderful... Forsyth interrupts the Lady Pockets with a brusque laugh. Yes, just eat the damn thing, would you? This has been exhausting. There's more of a spite accent in his voice now. Beats a Carpet looks at him reproachfully. Well, let's witness the final judging. It is the moment of truth. The Lady Pockets accepts a knife from Beats a Carpet, extracting a wedge of tart. Slowly, carefully, she brings an overloaded spoonful up to her mouth, closes her eyes and eats. Both butlers are too busy looking at her to notice the stranger, coiled like a spring. They leap forward, hand outstretched, and grab a palmful of your tart. There is custard in their mouth before Forsyth has time to blink. A long silence. Neither butler moves. The stranger and Lady Pockets eat, chew, swallow. A curious expression moves across both faces. Recollection? No. Disgust. This is awful, exclaims Lady Pockets. The stranger coughs custard into their hand. She turns to them, pulling their tart in front of her. Surely yours must be better. I'm sorry, I've completely forgotten your name. The butlers look to each other in panic. Forsyth is sweating profusely, backing into the centre of the tent. Then, before the second tart can be judged, all the canvas sidings of the tent bulge and tear, and the gazebo is full of Neddy men. A sea of Neddy men swarm the winner's tent, accompanied by a few special constables, distinguishable by their louder shouting and slightly larger truncheons. Lady Pockets and the stranger jump backwards, but they are not the intruder's only target. A small circle forms around them. Another forms around the butlers twain. Forsyth trembles with rage. Beats a Carpet wriggles nervously. Both wear faces of abject despair. Well, let's observe their arrest. Another chance, begs Beats a Carpet. Let me lead the plan. We can do better, pleads Forsyth. Don't take us back to fires yet. A special constable shakes Forsyth by the shoulder and leads the pair towards an opening in the tent. No, Jasper and Frank, you two, eh? Boss told us to keep a close eye. Not feeling forgiving lately, his old fires. The Neddy men lead the butlers off, with the second group closing around the stranger and Lady Pockets, who seem to have, almost unconsciously, stuck together. The pair back up towards a tent pole, and the stranger kicks out with their foot. Canvas sags and tears, and blocks them all from view. Neddy men shout in alarm, chasing after. All forget about you, stood in the centre of a slowly collapsing tent complex, surrounded by baking paraphernalia and a bevy of Station 8's latest sentiment extraction machines. It would be a shame to let it go to waste. We got an emetic revelation. And here we are at the epilogue. Days pass, the baking competition ends without comment or report. No news of an impractically large tent complex in the middle of London makes it into the papers, a sure sign of bizarre side meddling and politics. One day, while perusing a local second-hand bookshop, you find a copy of a familiar book, dog-eared and tea-stained. Persephone Pocket's cookbook for those above their station peeks out of the shelves at you. You hadn't known there were other copies. Surely the ministry has these on lockdown. Well, let's sit down and carefully read through. The chaos of the competition didn't permit you more than a glance at the time. Coming back with a clear knowledge of Lady Pocket's true nature, the ciphers embedded in the recipes are easier to spot. Anecdotes and circumlocution are revealed to be codes, hiding a series of fragmentary messages, or rather one longer message, a letter. Each of these books contains within it a missive to the stranger, preserved long after both of their memories had fled. My love, I hide this here against our protocols in the hope that one day you might read it and somehow know I speak to you. I still believe that what we did was right. Neither of us would be safe from our masters, from each other's masters, from London's masters, while we knew what we knew. And I value your safety over my memories of you. The bazaar can hang. I don't care about its secrets. But it is right about one thing. Look always to love. I forget happily. Knowing it makes you safe. Yours? The code ends without a name. No alias, no pseudonym, just a break in the cipher, followed by a recipe for a custard tart. And this concludes A Deadly Custard. I hope you all enjoyed that story. I found it rather refreshing. It was a completely different take. I love anything to do with the Great Game. As I have said many times, it is a very interesting subject to me. Did you do anything different to me? Did you win the contest? What do you get if you win the contest? And I assume give the memories back to the Lady Pockets and the stranger. If you did do that, let me know in the comments down below. It'd be greatly appreciated. Please like, subscribe. Thank you again to the coffee supporters and the members of the channel. It really does mean the world to me. And as always, see you next time.